my 40th anniversary. I opened Champion School of Real Estate in 1983 at the beginning of a down market. And we have grown Champion School of Real Estate over these 40 years to be the largest real estate school in Texas, if not the USA. Large only means something if you can also put quality in every category. Quality teachers, quality textbooks, wonderful career counselors, technology that is up to date, new and trendy, brick and mortar buildings that are beautiful, our fantastic virtual online classroom, as well as online delivery systems. When I opened Champion School of Real Estate in 1983, it was a huge leap of faith. We were in a down cycle. What I've learned through our up and down cycles is that there's always a need for real estate, and people are always ready to buy residential, investment properties, buildings, warehouses, and the down cycle will soon move to an up cycle. I know for a fact that Champion School of Real Estate was built one person at a time, the way every residential, commercial property manager, loan officer, appraiser, inspector builds their business. Thanks to our many employees at Champion School of Real Estate, our fantastic teachers, our very successful students, we have the growth that we have had and enjoyed these 40 years in business. Happy birthday to Champion School of Real Estate. Good morning, Champion School of Real Estate students, customers, friends. I'm Rita Santa Maria, and I am celebrating 40 years having opened Champion School of Real Estate in 1983. I can't believe we're celebrating a 40th birthday and just love the growth of our business, the success of our business, and we owe it to all of our champions students, our champions graduates, and certainly our staff and our instructors. Today, I have one of our champions graduates out of San Antonio. And this particular graduate is an excellent residential agent. She does farm and ranch as well as land sales, but really specializes in residential. She's going to talk to us about teams, growing her team, how she did that, the whole spirit mentality behind growing a team. So, without any further ado, let's welcome Elizabeth Wallace. Elizabeth, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Rita?
Awesome, wonderful. It is so good to see you. And I also want to mention that you are with First Choice Realty in San Antonio. And you've been in real estate for how many years now?
8 years.
8 years. And over these 8 years, can you just jump right in and tell us what were one or two activities that you did as an agent to get your business started as a brand new agent?
So, Rita, as I was taking the courses at Champions, I went out and I met with builders and I also met with different brokerages. I met with 6 different brokerages before I made a decision on where I was going to be going. But I definitely went out and I met with builders and other agents that were successful in the business and really wanted to get a grasp on how they were so successful. So I was able to grab coffee with some of the superstars in the market and some top builders in San Antonio, and they were able to give me a lot of great advice.
So you went out and basically networked, basically knocked on doors to talk to other people in real estate to get a handle on what is this new career all about. And, that is honestly in a different direction. Exactly what we tell our new people to do. Go out, get familiar with the neighborhoods, get familiar with your city, your town, your community.
Mhm.
And you went out and actually, I understand you found your first mentor who was a builder on site. And how did that happen?
So I had made a schedule for myself that day to go out and meet different builders that were around San Antonio because we have tons of new homes to sell. And so I wanted to start developing relationships with those builders. And as I was meeting with the builders, Ignacio was at the builder. He was visiting him himself, and we were introduced that way. And he told me that he does do training for new agents, and we just clicked. We had tons in common, and he told me about an office that he was going to be working at, and I chose to join that office at that time, and it was the best choice I could have made. He was a very hands-on mentor, and he taught me a lot. It was great working with him.
I love what you just said to everyone because I hear in the classroom when I walk in and say, "Thank you for your business," invariably a new person will say, "Is there room for me?" Do experienced agents just hate having new people come in the office? And the answer is no, no, no. Your experience is so familiar with all other situations where a smart, experienced agent will meet a new person and say, I want you for my company. So you use that particular person to kind of get an idea of what real estate was all about. I know that you specialize in residential, but you also like to sell land. How did that come about?
So I was actually referred to a client that had some land to sell, and I had taken the courses at Champions for farm and ranch and land, and so I had
Thank
already
you.
yes, and so I had already learned some knowledge around that aspect of the business through the school. And when I was approached with my first land sale, I utilized my mentor, the learnings from Champion, and I also took into consideration my title company helped me also with some logistics around the contract piece. So I didn't make any mistakes, made sure the client was protected. And it was a wonderful experience. And I fell in love with farm and ranch and land. I learned so much about so many different things that you don't learn on the residential side. And I think it's very crucial to the business, especially if you get some residential sales that are attached to land. So, something with anywhere from 2 to 10 acres with a house on it that would sell as residential, you can learn more of the aspect side with the land piece, and you can be very, very knowledgeable with that for your sellers or buyers.
Good for you. And it sort of sounds like you must enjoy selling new homes as well. You went out and visited all the new home communities, which is a really smart thing to do for a brand new person. Do you enjoy selling new homes, production homes, as well as pre-owns, or do you have a specialty or a niche?
I would say I probably sell about 60% new to 40% pre-owned in my business. And there's just so much new development here and a lot of great options and similar prices to pre-owned. So I do sell quite a bit of new builds, and I love the process. I love helping the client through all of the aspects of the new build process. So If they're buying something from, where they're picking out their lot, it's a lot of fun to, help them decide where they're going to be living and the choices around that. And then the building piece, getting to go to the design center with them, helping them pick out, their choices, and just being a part of all of that. Sometimes I'm holding the babies while mom and dad can pick out their choices.
Your
Um,
fixtures and choices.
yes, yeah. And I love babies, so that's great. But I just love the whole aspect piece and watching the family grow through this whole process. So the building process is fun, and sometimes they go and they just buy something that's already ready too. So but it's a lot of fun. It's a different learning piece of the
Well,
business.
you're so smart to understand that learning piece of new home construction. We have the accredited buyer rep new home construction elective add-on.
Mhm,
And I love that particular one-day elective because it tells you how a house goes together from the ground up. And
mhm.
as you know, when you're in real estate, you will be showing new homes as well as pre-owns. So it's good to have that knowledge as well. You have a team right now of 5 people. I
Mhm.
know at one point your largest team consisted of 8 people. How did you start out, and at what point in your career did you add your very first team member? Tell us about that decision.
So at about the 11 mark, I decided to break away from my mentor. I felt like I was ready to do that. And I think for each person, that learning process is different, and everybody has their own time frames. And at the year mark, because I knew I wanted a team, I absolutely love to train. I'm so passionate about it. I just love to teach. And so at the year mark, I knew I wanted to start a team, but at the year mark was when I added my first agent. And shortly after that, I had a second and a third and a fourth, and it kept growing. And was very lucrative here, very busy. And so when I got to about 8 agents, I felt as though I couldn't spread myself enough for everybody, that was fair to give everybody enough time for what they needed for training. But I worked through with those agents, and a lot of them are actually now on their own now, doing incredibly well. And I just love watching them, be successful. It's so fulfilling.
That is absolutely so remarkable, so huge that your first year in the business, you took that leap of faith to literally share your business with someone else. In my 30 Days to Success book, I say most agents are fearful that they now have to share their commission with somebody else. But in fact, it's like the synergy where all of a sudden your business starts growing and growing because there are more people talking about you, more people talking about the name of your group. And to build it to 5 people is pretty exciting. And at the same time, how do you feel when those people leave? Because you're also training new people on how to be successful. So, how does that approach work?
So when an agent joins my team, I do to have a conversation with every single team agent. The same conversation is that my goal for them is to be able to hopefully be comfortable to be on their own within a year. Hopefully, I'll be able to have taught them everything, all of the basics that they'll need to be able to be on their own and successful. And I always tell them I'll always be here, a phone call away, if one day you ever do decide to step away and be on your own. If you ever have questions, you can call. I'm here. But I do give them that time frame, about a year for myself. Is my goal for my agents to be able to spread their wings and fly. I am not a high retention team manager. I don't like to particularly train agents to keep them under my wing long term, because I do like to see them grow and become successful. And eventually I always ask them their goals ahead of time, and I ask them, where would you like to be in a year and 5 years? And my goal is to help them get those places. So I want them to be able to either start their own teams or eventually start their own brokerages. I just want to give them that startup and, teach them how I became successful and just let them know that they can do it on their own and they can have their own teams. And I just love seeing them break away at those points. It makes me happy. I always tell them it's not going to make me angry if you come tell me you're ready to be on your own. I'm going to be excited and happy to hear that news, and then we'll always be in touch, and I get to watch them grow, and that is just something that I love to see. It's so fulfilling to be a part of these agents' journeys.
You are totally amazing. You gave a reply that 90% of the time I would never hear that reply. Generally, an agent grows their team and they want that team to stay together forever, and they're disappointed when their member leaves. And you have a totally different, open philosophy. You're training them, and I love the expression to spread their wings and fly on their own. I'm sure there are people listening right now thinking, I want to be on her team. That is a great philosophy. And that being said, today, our interview will be on our Champions School of Real Estate YouTube, but tomorrow, you, in fact, will be on my podcast. It's Real Estate Superstars Today, and I know that everyone listening will want to take additional notes tomorrow on the podcast. So, interview today, podcast tomorrow, and they are going to be impressed as heck with your attitude about spreading their wings and taking off in their career. So let's go back in time a few years back again when you were growing your own company, your own, I want to say, business. You're an entrepreneur now. How much time did you spend early on in your business, Elizabeth?
So I started when I was still working my full-time job, and I was working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 with my full-time job. And I was doing open houses every weekend. And that was either with builders or with pre-owned on some of the relationships that I had developed. And I started doing those on Saturdays and Sundays, and they weren't for short periods of time either. It takes a lot of work. It actually takes a lot of effort to put into work into your open houses. So I would go and do my open houses from sometimes 11 to 5 or 11 to 6. I would try to be there, as long as I possibly could to build my clientele. And I did that for about a year. And after that year, I was getting so busy and my pipeline was getting full that on the weekends, I couldn't do open houses any longer. I had to be out showing houses. So, I started in April of 2015, and I was laid off from my full-time job in December 1st. And my last day of my full-time job was the following March 1st. So I knew I had those 3 months to either make a decision. I was throwing myself into real estate, or I was going to get another full-time job. And my daughter told me something. She said, Mom, you're already getting busy. Just do real estate. You love it. And those little bits of words of encouragement from her, I was like, you know what? I can do this. And I am getting busy. And I stayed in real estate. I didn't get another full-time job, and I never looked back. And I just hit the ground running and kept myself busy.
Wow. So the idea that you lost your job was actually a great thing because it was a springboard into doing what you're doing today, and obviously very successful at it. And I want to just add to those that are also listening, watching today, you are a mom with two children, and you are a single mom with two children. And just you're very inspiring for other people for sure. So that they look at you and they see that beautiful smile that you have and your amazing attitude. They're like, I want to be like Elizabeth. So if I'm a brand new person and I have very little money, but a little bit to spend on marketing, not a whole lot, what is your favorite form of marketing that works best for you?
So when I first started, the only marketing pieces that I purchased were my business cards, my open house signs, and I opened a business page on Facebook, which is free. So when I did my second full year of taxes with my CPA, he asked me, "Where is all of your marketing costs?" And I said, "It's this is it. My business cards and my open house signs, that's all I've got." And he said, "Wow, you did this much business and you didn't pay
I
for any
love
other
it.
marketing." And I said, "No." I said, I talk to people everywhere I go. I think we are our biggest marketing piece. That's the most crucial. And one thing I do tell my team is wherever you go, no matter where you're at, whether it's the gym, the grocery store, if you just happen to spark conversation with someone naturally, and you can some way find out a way to bring up you're going to show houses in a little bit. I'm here right now, but I have to head to work. I'm going to go show houses. I'm a real estate agent. And just by bringing up that in a natural way of conversation with people face to face, and they've already met you and you're in front of them, you wouldn't believe how many times I've gotten clients in the most interesting places. And so I think us ourselves, it's so important. Always have your business card on you, and if not, electronic file. And that's a great way to also get your clients because you can get their number right there and shoot them a text with your business card. But I think at the end of the day, we have to remember that we are our biggest marketing piece ourselves. And the more that we put ourselves out there and talking to people, we will generate a ton of business. And that's how I did it. Because in the beginning, I didn't have a lot of money to spend on marketing. I just had to make it happen. And the Facebook business page, along with my regular Facebook page, became very business driven. And I was able to reach not only to my sphere of influence, but when I made public posts, anyone that liked it or commented on it, their friends saw it as well. So it was kind of spreading me across Facebook. And now, Instagram has gotten so big as well, but Facebook was a huge piece for me in the beginning.
We just got back from Inman Connect in New York, and most definitely everything you're saying, it sounds old school, but it's still the right school
Yeah.
because it works all day long. Definitely have your name badge on. You're in the grocery store, you're in line somewhere.
Yeah.
And as you said, conversation, it's, oh, I've got to get going. I have a listing appointment, something in that vein. And people want to talk about real estate. At Inman, they were saying how very fortunate, which we all know, that we are in today's world because use social media to the nth degree. It is like the cheapest thing out there. And the fact that you are so smart to have your business Facebook as well as your personal Facebook and just talking up real estate. The other side of that old school is open houses that you mentioned. Open houses in today's world are so very, very, very important. People are out looking, they want to look all the time.
Mhm.
It's incredible that you spent every weekend on Saturday, Sunday from like 11 to 5 or noon to 6 on open houses. That's exactly how I started my career out as well in a new home neighborhood. And that particular builder just gave me a huge jump start on my career. And obviously, it works today. Not to mention, it allows you to practice conversation
Yes,
with buyers
absolutely.
when you're out showing property and sitting on an open house. And it is very, very inexpensive to use social media for
Mhm.
everything. I admire that your CPA noticed, wow, she's making a lot of money and her expenses are very, very small. So over the years that your bottom line has grown, what type of marketing do you like to use today? Has it changed or is it pretty much the same?
So it's the same. And after about my first year of meeting clients and selling, I have developed a incredibly strong referral based business. So now most of my business, about 90% of my business does come from referral based business. and that keeps me very busy. So I'm a firm believer in just absolutely nurturing my current and past clients and taking care of them and staying in touch with them. I become friends with most of my clients unless they move away or we can't stay in touch for some reason. So I'm a people person. I love talking to people and getting to know them. I go to tons of baby showers and birthdays and housewarming parties, and I develop relationships with my clients, and they're real friendships, and I really do get to know them and spend time with them and share things with them, and they share things with me, and that's so crucial. But I'm a firm believer that if you take very good care of your current clientele, even if you're just starting and it's one person, that one person can reach their whole sphere of influence and talk about you just by some of the things that you could do for them. So that's
Exactly.
been my biggest piece of
I've
business.
been wanting to jump in and just say to those that don't have a lot of friends, that don't have a lot of baby showers or wedding showers, or for those that are listening that say, "Well, I don't have that huge group." Do you have one? And if
Mhm.
you have one, that definitely can be your center of influence. But at the same time, it is the perfect time to get involved in a club, in a group. There are
Mhm.
so many, many groups out there that you can just join, and they're happy always to increase the size of their group. New people, get yourself in at least 2 to 3 different associations. I wanna ask associations, meaning groups, clubs. I want to ask Elizabeth, how often do you stay in touch with your clients and those that have brought you business? Every week, every 2 weeks, once a month? What is your general timetable?
I stay in touch with a lot of them through social media. I get to see them post their pictures of their homes or their families or their growth, but I stay in touch with the majority of them through social media. I'm able to comment and like and talk to them about, if there's something they posted with their children or their house, or it's just seeing their growth in their home.
It's that
Um,
communication.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
And but I would say, gosh, maybe at least twice a month. I talk to the majority of my clients, especially through Facebook. Not maybe on
That's
the
super.
phone, but I have different ways that I talk to people. And there'll be different times where if I'm in someone's neighborhood, I take a picture of their street sign and I text it to them and I'm like, I'm in your neighborhood. Just want to say hi. I always find little ways to reach out to my clients or text them or talk to them. And it kind of just depends on what's reminded me of them.
Do you find that you use Instagram more than Facebook? Do you use TikTok at all? I'm just
Just Facebook.
curious.
Just Facebook. I do post on my stories on Instagram with real estate, but I use
Okay,
Facebook the most.
okay. At Inman, they were saying we need to definitely make sure that we're involved with both of those particular social sites. Instagram, very, very popular. Facebook is popular, more popular with Gen X, baby
Yes.
boomers. Um, at the same time, most are not using TikTok unless it's just to have, a fun story going on. But again, I can't emphasize enough to our new people, you don't need a lot of money. You
Right.
need time,
Mhm.
time, time. Use your time, get out, know your communities, meet, greet people, get involved in an association, wear a name badge, have your business cards. And then when you're like Elizabeth, in 1 year, you start adding a team member. Was that team member, Elizabeth, a buyer's agent, or did they do both listings and sales with you?
They do both.
They
All
do
of my
both.
agents, I recommend that all of my agents touch both sides of the business before they decide which route they want to go, because I think it's so crucial to know both sides of the business. You learn so much on the listing side, and so that when you're helping buyers, you understand exactly what that listing agent is going through, and vice versa. So I teach my agents both sides of the business. I say you've got to do transactions on both sides, at least a few, and then at that point you can say, you know what, I really want to focus on the buyer side, because then you'll still know how the listing side is handled. You'll still be trained on it, and you can always focus on it. But if one day a listing comes up, you know exactly what you need to do and how to get it done. But you can also be very kind to your fellow agents, especially on the other side of the transaction. It's so important to know both sides of the business because it is so different, especially with
Yeah.
the crazy market we just went through. Understanding, how to handle a listing or a buyer is important. They're both really different sides and different pieces to the contract, and it's good to know both.
Now, is there a certain software that you prefer, that you like with your company that you use?
Yes, we just use Zip forms.
Zip forms are great,
Mhm.
and most definitely they have all of our contracts, our addendums, their
Yeah.
autofill. They're amazing.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
indeed. And we do demonstrate those in some of our classes, certainly our law of contracts class. Is there any disruptor in the marketplace that you have found your agents, your teams getting nervous about? Or how do you personally handle disruptors without mentioning a name of a company? But if you can describe, express any disruptors that have made you fearful.
Well, I could say right now with rates being high, that is a bit scary. I think for anyone, it could be scary for a lot of different agents in different ways, even successful agents. Our business can slow down, and we're used to being super busy, and it can throw us off, especially if we're go 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 kind of people. But what I talk to my agents about in a market like this is that, the last 2 years we were seeing offers come in anywhere from 20,000 to 100,000 over asking price. Yes, your rates were low in the threes, right? Which was fantastic, but you're paying significantly over price on these homes. But what I told them now, how to counteract the high interest rates is, it really does balance itself out because now what we're seeing happen is prices are starting to come down. Sellers are starting to offer incentives such as closing costs, and you pay other incentives on the contract. Um, and so you're kind of saving on the front end now, and you may have a little bit of a higher rate. However, they can always refi. So in a year or two, when the rates may get a little bit better, we can't foresee the future, but they can't stay like this forever, right? So when things do get better, they can refi. So if you're able to save on the front end and you're not paying overprice, so much, my highest listing that went over asking price was $100,000 this last 2 years. And I think that, and they have a super low rate, which is great, but they paid a little bit more over asking. But that was the reality of our market. So now
It was.
that's something that's scary. These high rates, it slowed down, buyers are pushing back. But if you're really able to educate them on saving on the front end and refining later, it all kind of balances itself out in the end. So I think it comes down to another fear piece is how are all of our agents in our market talking to their buyers and sellers? We have to remain very positive, and because we can rub off on our buyers and sellers, it's so important that we talk to our clients in a very positive manner and a truthful manner.
So the truth. I am so glad to hear you say that because the worst thing to me is when I hear an agent badmouth the market.
Yeah.
And I think if you're saying that to me, I hope you're not saying that to your clients, your prospects. In that, for one thing, even with interest rates going up, the market is like it's actually better than 2019 across the state, which was a good market.
Mhm.
Um, with interest rates going up, it's a great time to learn financing.
Mhm.
3-2-1 buy down,
Mhm.
um, refinance that you mentioned. Financing is a tool that most definitely we all need to have in our toolbox to help us in real estate because
Absolutely.
adjustable rate mortgages, they've been out there forever. I just think they're going to be more and more back in our marketplace right now. And then educating the buyer, what is a 3-2-1 buy down? All of that information that is why you have a license and you are the professional.
Mhm.
Let me ask this question. What does Elizabeth Wallace like to do in her downtime for fun?
Travel, 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 travel. So, of course, spend time with my kids, but I like to take them to travel as well. I feel that exposing my children to different parts of the world really helps them to see how you know great America is. I mean, the whole world
Exactly.
is amazing, but I like to expose them to different things and different foods and different cultures, and that's so important to me. It's a big, big, big part of my life with my children is traveling with them, and we always eat local. I tell my kids, if you don't eat local, you're not eating. So we eat local, we and learn about the cultures, and we meet new people, and I've just seen my kids grow and blossom through that. But I just love to travel all over, and it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's what I like to do in my free time.
Do you have a favorite place you like to travel?
Asia, I have been there
Asia.
twice, and well, we may be going back for a third time this
Okay.
late this summer with my kids.
So, for you, what has been the most enjoyable part of your career moving from your former job into 100% sales entrepreneurship of real estate? What has been the best, most exciting thing for you?
Well, I love that it's always changing. So there's not one client transaction that's ever been the same. And it's always changing. It's always something new. It's always somebody new to help. And so I never get bored. I really don't. I love what I do. I never get bored. I meet so many different types of people. And even from around the world, I've got my MRP certification. I took the MRP course with you guys. And my client, I have a client right now that's going to be coming in from Japan that's currently under contract. So it's just incredible. They're a military client. We're a military city, and so it's a lot of fun. I get to help people all over, and I meet so many walks of life, and it's never a dull moment. It's never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment is such an understatement. And it also allows for lots of conversation around the dinner table at night.
Yes.
It's so much fun. It is so
Yeah.
much fun. And that is why we get so many people that want to know about it. And then they get in and they're like, this is fun. Yes, it's work. And it is work. You know, it's work. But
Yes.
it's also, as you said, just so many facets of our career in real estate on a daily basis that make it challenging. You're never bored. And I love that particular answer. So, if you were to have advice given to your younger self, what advice would you give Elizabeth Wallace if you were a brand new agent or maybe not even an agent at this point?
I would have to say get into real estate sooner, start real estate earlier. But I wouldn't have known how much I loved it, but definitely would tell my younger self, go into real estate out of college
Right away.
right away.
Get into it right away. Well,
Absolutely.
it has been my pleasure to have you here talking with me today on our Champion School of Real Estate YouTube channel, as well as Facebook. And then tomorrow on my podcast, Real Estate Superstars Today. Elizabeth Wallace, San Antonio, First Choice Realty. Thank you so very much for being with us today. And for our students and potential students in real estate, a couple of things that I want to bring to your attention. Our former real estate superstars are in our Successful Tendencies book, and it is a wonderful written recap of their interviews, you'll get great suggestions on how to be successful because it's coming straight from the mouths of those that use these suggestions to be at the top of the leaderboard in their career. If you're curious about a career in real estate, my 30 Days to Success real estate book, workbook, as well as the link to 30 days with me telling you every day what to do in real estate. And as well, if you want to increase your business, this will give you a jump start in increasing your business in real estate. So, any particular final words you would like to say, Elizabeth Wallace, as we say goodbye today?
I would just like to tell the new agents to get out there, hit the ground running, put yourself out there, talk to everybody that you know, talk to people wherever you go, and just know that you can be successful. Don't let anything hold you back, and you'll be great in real estate. Just work hard.
Those are great words. And our wonderful champions, School of Real Estate teachers, and our wonderful counselors tell our people that all day long. And I'm just so proud that you're one of our champions from the San Antonio region. Love your manager, your whole group over there, April Brown, Kim Garner. They are an awesome team. And I always want to give a shout out to the president of our company, Kim Didelowitz, who offices in the Plano area, all of our managers, and all of our wonderful instructors and counselors. Thanks for allowing and helping Champion School of Real Estate to grow to the largest real estate school in Texas, if not the USA. So, thanks for being with me today,
Thanks,
Elizabeth,
Rita.
and hope to see you my next visit to San Antonio. Bye
Would love
bye.
that. Thank you, Rita. Bye.
Hi, my name is Roy Carter, and I'm the Director of Home Inspections at Champion School of Real Estate. I'm a licensed professional inspector in the state of Texas with over 25 years of experience. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should become a professional home inspector. The need for inspectors is growing in Texas. The number of home buyers that opt for pre-purchase inspections has risen nearly 10% in recent years. As this trend continues, and with many inspectors reaching a retirement age soon, this job will be in high demand for years to come. There's a lot of work to go around and not enough inspectors to do it. Be your own boss. Home inspectors decide when, where, and how much they work. As a business owner, you'll get to make your own schedule and make time for any personal appointments that might come up. We always say, inspectors are out after the morning traffic and home before evening rush hour. Number 3, specialization opportunities. People typically think of pre-purchase inspections as the majority of what we do, but in reality, inspection covers much more than that. As a home inspector, you can offer pre-renovation inspections, warranty inspections, and help resolve legal disputes. You can also specialize in commercial real estate, pool and spa, well and septic, lead and radon testing, and much more. Number 4, the steady income. Professional inspectors make a good, reliable living. It's very feasible to make $70,000 or more in your first year and 6-figure within 5 years. If you follow our marketing plan and dedicate yourself to your business, the harder you work, the higher your earning potential. Number 5, helping people with an important life event. A home is the biggest purchase of most people's lives. Everyone wants to be certain they are making a safe, smart investment. As an inspector, it's rewarding to help new homeowners feel secure and confident about their purchase. If a career in home inspection sounds like something you're interested in, visit the home inspection page on the Champion School of Real Estate website. Our packages include everything you need to get licensed, including the pre-licensing modules and the Texas practical requirement. We also offer exam prep and continuing education classes for future license renewal. Click the link in the description to get started. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.